This is The Clash, where the real world clashes with a true Christian worldview. Join former professional wrestler Chris Whaley, known as the Masked Saint, who is an author, pastor, and teacher that brings his wrestling skills into the squared circle and tackles real-life issues. Along with Jeff Dixon, best-selling author, internationally known teacher, leader, and pastor who is not afraid to tackle the tough issues of the world we live in. Together they form a tag team of wisdom in The Clash.
Hi, welcome to The Clash, where we take a Christian worldview, allow it to clash into the culture around us, and when we're done, hopefully we create 30 minutes that will allow you to be entertained, educated, enlightened, and maybe expand your horizons just a little bit. I'm Jeff Dixon. I am one of the hosts of this particular show, but the real driving force behind this show is sitting to my right, your left on your screen. He is the one, the only, they call him the Saint. It is Dr. Chris Whaley. How are you?
You know, every time I get with you, it gets better and better.
Really?
Yeah,
Gooder
man.
and gooder?
Out of all the people I know, you're one of them.
Yeah, I'm one of them. That's right. and there's only two of us on this set, so we're okay.
Yeah, we're doing great. Yep.
Well, you know, there is a birthday coming up.
Yes, it is.
That I'm excited about.
Important.
It's a very important birthday.
Yeah.
Whose birthday?
America.
Yeah, America. 250 years.
250 years.
I don't remember all of them.
I do not. I do not. No, and you know, what's really amazing, Jeff, is probably the most unbelievable time has been in our lifetime.
It really has.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, you think, you know, when I was a kid, air conditioning in cars was not really a big thing. And of course, growing up in Florida, man, getting an air conditioner in your car. Now they actually work.
I know.
You know, look at that. Look at, you know, you remember TV with the rabbit ears?
Yeah, black and white TV. I remember
black
that.
and white, yeah. And now, you know, you get thousands of channels. When in our day, you had three, right?
Three.
If the president was on, you were messed up, man.
Yeah.
And now
you got a UHF channel every once in a while.
Yeah.
They were the best channels.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And so things have changed so much in our lifetime, but there's a whole lot more to it because 250 years of progress in this nation. I'm ready to tackle it.
There's a lot of history. And what we're going to do in this episode, and this is the first episode in perhaps a series of episodes where we're going to talk about America and look back at some of those events and some of the situations. We'll probably talk about some spiritual implications of those events, why they matter. The list that we're going to share with you is certainly not exhaustive, but it is important and it's hit our radar. There's going to be some that hit your radar that we don't think about. But we're going to explore America at 250 years. We're going to talk about some of the historical events that have happened to get us to this moment. And so we'll continue that conversation right after this.
I love hearing from our listeners. I have a website called themaskedsaint.com, and I get, you know, people telling me things about the old wrestling days. I love to hear from them. I'm on Facebook, I'm on X, I'm on Instagram, and I just never get tired of listening to people. And if you have not read The Masked Saint, I have that available on my website. I have the Christmas book, Harold's Heavenly Christmas. I have the last book that I wrote with a wrestling buddy called Mr. President. Pictures whenever I was still in good shape. I have those available along with t-shirts, anything, but most of all, just love to hear from you.
Welcome back. We're glad that you're with us. We are talking about America 250. This is our first episode. We're looking back on some of the events that have hit our radar of, for us, these are the most important events in American history. There's a ton of events that have taken place for 250 years, so we're obviously highlighting. Yeah. But go ahead. What is your first one? What's the first one?
I think you got to start with this, and that's the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
That would be 1776, wouldn't it?
Right, 1776. Okay. You have, you know, the founding of our nation, where America formally declared independence introduced these radical ideas
Yeah.
about liberty and equality and government by consent. And you know, in the midst of this, they're dealing with some pretty devastating stuff from England.
Yeah.
And so they had to have a lot of courage to do what they did, to stand for conviction, but despite the overwhelming odds that they were against.
Yeah, I think there's something that's incredibly inspiring and admirable, but also, God breathed in that moment when this group of very different people,
Right.
Were able to put aside a lot of those differences and think collectively to get to a point where they created this document that becomes so pivotal,
Right.
based on an idea or belief that, God really has created people to be free,
Right.
and making America that melting pot for that to happen. That's it's pretty incredible. I've often wondered, in the political climate today, a document like that would never be signed. Mm-mm. But I've often tried to go back in my brain cells and try to think, what would it have been like to be in that room in Independence Hall?
Oh, yeah.
And to put your name on that document. I think there's a moment where you sign it and there's almost like a holy hush, like, what have we done?
Yeah.
And are we ready to pay the price for this? I mean, I think it's a huge moment.
Yeah. And I've been to Washington, I'm sure you have too,
Mm-hmm.
and seen, from, it's under glass and everything, but have seen the actual Declaration of Independence. That's pretty awesome to go there and say, hey man, this is the actual document that those guys signed.
Yeah. Crazy.
Just amazing. And that it has stood strong for 250 years.
Yeah.
There are a lot of nations that have collapsed in the last 250 years, but America continues to go strong.
And I heard Nicolas Cage stole it, but they got it back. Is that true?
I saw that.
Yeah,
What was it, National Treasure?
National Treasure, yeah.
I think they got it back.
They got it back? Okay,
yeah,
so
they got it back.
Okay, it's back. As long as it's back, I think that's important.
Yeah.
I had that. And I think another one that goes with that, though, is the Constitutional Convention that took place in 1787, because now that rounded out what started in 1776, this Battle for Independence, where they put together what we have as a foundation in the document form for the federal government, what that's going to look like. I mean, I think we lose that sometimes because, Declaration of Independence, we had to have that, but we had to come behind it with some documentation to put the framework together to hold this thing together.
Right.
And so, that Constitution, the Constitutional Congress being put together, I also think that's a pretty big deal. That really does allow us to have the nation we have today.
Right. And when you think of the American Revolutionary War, where you have these colonies that are fighting for independence, and they create this new political experience, unlike the monarchies of the era that they were up against. And you have this most powerful nation, I believe at that time, the most powerful nation, England, and we kicked their butts.
Yeah.
And that's, I know, can we say that on here? I don't know.
I don't know. If so, it'll be edited out by the time you watch it.
Yeah, but we did it. I mean, farmers and just regular people taking up arms to go against this big giant England, and we did it.
Sure.
That. My goodness, I get chills just thinking about it.
Well, before we get away from that, then, because again, let's throw a name out of history in here too, because again, obviously, in the history of America, there are some pivotal figures as well. I mean, and think about the significance of George Washington.
Yeah.
That title he carries, Father of the Country. In a lot of ways, he really was. I mean, larger than life, larger than most men anyway, 6'4", 6'5", whatever he stood.
Yeah, 6'2".
But just, wow, what an amazing insight and depth that certainly was beyond him. I mean, it had to come from somewhere, because but his ability to pull off what was an overwhelming victory.
Right. And he probably could have served to be president until he died.
Sure. Oh,
But
sure.
he said, no, 2 terms, that's it.
Yeah.
And, you know, that shows, I think, the humbleness of the guy, too.
There was wisdom to what he did.
Yeah, wisdom, yeah.
Because, again, we're trying to make a break from having kings.
Right.
And if we were ever going to have an American king, he could have been it.
Yeah, it could have been it.
But stepped away. And you know, and I think also, when you go back and read the exploits, it's been recently that I've read a couple of books on George Washington. And I'm really fascinated with how he saw God at work.
Yeah.
In what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a complex guy, but, you know, seeing, you know, the divine hand, allowing him to do some stuff that really made no other sense that God had a hand in it.
Right.
You know.
Just read his works, and he mentions God, you know, 3 or 4 times in just about everything he writes.
And brilliant, too.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, set up the Culper Ring, which, of course, that group of spies that, you know, got him information and stuff like that. I mean, he was so astute at what he did, and I think that sometimes we just think about him, you know, run around cutting down a cherry tree, which didn't happen. But you know, you know, we miss a lot of that. But I mean, a pivotal figure in leading, you know, the nation to this moment where all of a sudden we became something, and where there was nothing before.
Right.
Big. What else you got by way of?
Well, I
big
think
events?
this is the big one, of course, is the American Civil War.
Yeah.
Between the North and the South, determined whether the nation would survive and accelerate because of the end of slavery. And you know, somebody's asked this question: was the Civil War America's greatest failure or greatest correction?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure that depends on who you ask or what historian you ask. But I think I think, and that's one of those times too where you think back on it. I mean, it was in some ways it was a political issue, but it was a human issue, and it split the nation in half.
Oh yeah.
And it became something that you could not avoid. As you go back and read the stories, I mean, it didn't matter who you were. You just couldn't rise above it. You couldn't be neutral. You were going to be one side or the other. And I think the end result would be that it was perhaps our greatest correction. I mean, I think in hindsight, you know, we can conclude that at the time as it's unfolding and the way it unfolded and the leaders. I mean, and again, you know, it's easy from where we're sitting today to be very, you know, very, very cavalier and, you know, oh, this was right, this was wrong. But I mean, you know, these were guys that they thought they were right, which is, you know, befuddling sometimes, but they did. They thought they were right, and they were willing to go to war for it. And it really did. It split the nation down the middle.
And leadership has a lot to do with it because Abraham Lincoln was the man for that time.
Yeah.
And you know, the first Republican president. And I think, you know, we owe a lot to him keeping our nation together.
Yeah.
Because you know, 250 years we stayed strong, but that was one of those kinks. But
It was a flashpoint. Yeah.
yeah, it could have gone very badly for our nation. But you know, I think Lincoln's leadership kind of brought things back together, and we have survived and done better because of it.
Well, I mean, and the wisdom and compassion that he had to be president and to have to be president for half of a nation that basically had turned against you. And still, you know, we talk about divided politics in our era.
Right.
I mean, it was divided, but he really did consider himself to be the president for the North and the South.
Right.
And took that responsibility seriously in trying to reunite a nation, which I just can't even imagine the responsibility, the weight of responsibility on him.
Yeah.
That was huge. It was huge.
Yeah. He was also a man of faith.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
When you read the things that he wrote, buddy, it was there. Yeah. I think right along with that, the Emancipation Proclamation, which was, you know, the freedom of for the slaves, that changed the moral direction
It did.
of our nation. You ask this question, especially in the political frame that we have today, can one leader change a nation's conscience? And Lincoln did that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and again, I mean, this is where, your leaders, they matter. They matter. And I mean, because again, that bully pulpit, that position, that seat, it means more than we know sometimes. And so,
absolutely.
So that became, I mean, you're right. I mean, I think that was the point of the spear in some ways for America to survive.
Right.
Because you play those what if games. What if it hadn't turned out that way?
Right.
You're talking about a separate nation with a line that kind of cuts across, that Mason-Dixon line, I guess, and that's a scary kind of thing to think about. But again, part of our history, and we have to learn from it too, right?
Absolutely.
Because again, it was an
Absolutely.
interesting time.
Yep. We better take a break.
Okay.
Okay.
We haven't covered very much history yet.
No.
Okay.
Not at all. Not at all. Hey, we'll come back.
Hey, Chris, I was just doing my laundry and look what I found.
Oh my goodness! Look at that. The Clash.
The Clash T-shirt.
I love that.
You know what makes it so special?
Why?
Well, because this is the Clash TV show. This is our logo. This came out of my laundry bucket. That means that these T-shirts are available for everybody to buy. And that means that when you need to do some shopping, that special gift, think about it.
Yep.
You've been invited to a wedding.
Right.
You buy a wedding present for the bride and groom.
Wow.
Matching Clash T-shirts.
How awesome
Every
would that
home
be?
needs that. When they have a baby, what do you want to get the baby?
A onesie.
A onesie, a Clash onesie. You can get that as well.
Right.
If you're looking for that extra special gift for a loved one,
Right.
you can go to the Clash store and get a Clash journal. You can get Clash magnets. You can get Clash widgets and gadgets and keychains. All of that is available. All you have to do is visit the Clash store.
We live in a great day, Jeff.
We do. And perhaps the greatest store out there is the Clash store. So follow the QR code at the bottom of the screen. You can go to the Clash store and get stuff your very own. It'll make us happy. It'll make the show even better. And you can put on your Clash gear while you watch every single episode of the Clash.
Absolutely.
Hi, welcome back. We're talking about America 250, some of the events that have shaped our history, some of the spiritual implications, some of the things we need to learn about that. And hopefully you're looking forward to celebrating the 4th of July as America turns or celebrates 250th birthday. And so we've been talking about some stuff before the break. There's no way, we made the comment just before we left, we haven't covered a whole lot of history. There's a lot of stuff over 250 years. There's an event that took place in 1803, though, that is significant, that I don't know if it would make everybody's list or not, but it makes mine just because of the impact it had. And it's the Louisiana Purchase, happening in 1803, where we get the territory from France that expands us as a nation, west, and it takes us east of that, or takes us west of the Mississippi River into places unknown, really. And I mean, the deal ends up being a great deal. We acquire it from France. But, the irony of this, we didn't know what we had. And so then it started this great period and era of something that I really think is significant for Americans, is this desire to explore, to discover, to create, and to establish itself in new places. I mean, I think that a lot of that survivalist and that American spirit really started fleshing out as a result of the Louisiana Purchase.
Right. And they had to make a map on it too, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, it was. You're buying. I mean, I just can't imagine, trying to create that kind of a land deal and not really knowing what you're going to get or what you finally got in this agreement.
Right.
Because on one hand, we didn't know what we were getting, and on the other hand, France didn't know what it was giving up. I mean, and at the end of the day, it becomes a part of our biggest expansion of territory in U.S. history. It makes us the nation we are today.
Pretty
so I mean,
huge.
pretty significant.
Pretty significant.
Pretty important.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you got?
Well, I was going to skip all the way forward to World War II.
Okay.
Skipped over World War I.
Yeah,
I
skip
know
right
that's
past World War I.
significant, but you think of, World War II, where I think for the first time in American history, you have global leadership coming from our country.
Yeah.
Global leadership. It transformed America into a superpower.
Right.
It actually reshaped the modern world. And I think, World War II was probably our finest hour.
Yeah.
Unbelievable sacrifice that was going on. And, think of, everybody we were against. I mean, having to go against, the Japanese, the Germans. I mean, my goodness. You think of what Hitler was doing. I mean, had he succeeded, you can imagine what this world would have looked like. But
do you think, again, I mean, you don't have to have an answer for this question. Do you think that World War II was when we, as a nation, really established ourselves as the superpower?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. A lot of good stuff, but I think also there were some things that ended up harming our country too.
Okay.
Because we changed the nuclear family a little bit there, where our men are going off to war, and it forced a lot of moms into working, and so when they come back, they say, "Oh my goodness, look how good things were when just Dad was working. Look what we could have if Mom and Dad were working."
Sure.
And of course, the children are sacrificed for that. And I know I get into a big thing today about, women in the workforce and all, but it changed the home in my
Sure.
opinion. It changed.
Well, I
the
mean,
home.
I think I think it's fair to say, whether you like it or you don't like it, whether you think it's a good change or a bad change, I think any global event like that, any major event like that, the ripple effect of that is huge, and it will. I mean, change is inevitable when those kind of events and moments come, and I think you see that at every intersection of history, though. That the ripple effect out of it, you gain something, but you lose something at the same time. There's a plus and there's a minus. It always takes place because again, everything costs. I mean, it's that the bottom line for us as Americans. Freedom has never been free, right? The cost of freedom. What is the cost of freedom? What is the cost of doing and being Americans in today's world? Right. And so, but I mean, those are valid points. I mean, you can, you might like them, maybe you don't like it, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's real. And so.
What's really amazing is we still have some World War II veterans that are still living there. Of course, they're going very quickly, but I still, have a friend. He's I think 104 now, and he was a decorated World War II flyer, and it's just it's amazing that generation is dying off because they gave us so much.
And what's fascinating about World War II, in a lot of ways too, is when you mentioned Hitler earlier, the rise to power that Hitler had and the way that he did it, an evil genius, no doubt about it, very subtle, the way that he rose to power, but also very, very scripted. I mean, there was a moment, and I think that World War II is one of those great times for us not to lose the history of that, to understand history so we don't make the same mistakes again, so we don't allow the same things to happen again. Because we in our modern culture, we throw terms around way too fast about, you're a Nazi, you're Hitler, and things like that. And I think that shows our ignorance, because when we throw terms like that, those terms, I mean, that's like throwing a firebomb into someplace. If you really understand what you're talking about. Sadly, most of the babbling talking heads that use terminology like that, they have no concept of history. Right. And they have no concept of the implications of what they're saying. And so, as a result, you shouldn't listen to them. Right. Because if you're going to be an idiot, you're just an idiot. Right. And so, because again, we need to learn from history. Because if not, we will make the same mistakes again. So we need to be wise. So,
Well, the thing that really drew us into World War II was the attack on Pearl Harbor. Yeah. and it kind of unified our country. And I've asked this question, Jeff, what do you think, why does tragedy often create unity?
Yeah. Well, I think tragedy is a stark reminder of what you have that's valuable that you can lose in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
And so as a result, we rally around that. I mean, because I think of September 11th, certainly, and I'm sure that would make our list at some point too if we kept, had unlimited episodes. Because again, we realize in that moment how valuable what we're about to lose, really is. And so, but I also think that's how God uses tragedy sometimes too, to grow us up, to teach us, to build character, to help us hold on to what's most important and prioritize our lives in some ways and make decisions that change things.
Yeah, but it brought great resolve from devastation. It just caught us. We couldn't imagine on our worst day what took place on Pearl Harbor taking place, and it had a lot to, bringing our nation together.
It did,
and thrusting us into World War II. All right, what's the next one?
Well, I have one that really, and I guess when I throw it out, it really happened over a period of time, but it's the American Civil Rights Movement. Mm-hmm. I think that era of history that unfolded.
That we lived through.
Yeah, that we lived through. I mean, talk about jumping around here, but yeah, that we, happened in our lifetimes where all of a sudden, in some ways, not exactly, but in some ways, we were going back and revisiting the Civil War all over again. Except this time we weren't going to, pick up arms and fight against each other and split the country down the middle, but it still split the country down the middle.
Oh boy.
And again, this is where we come back. Do we learn the lessons from history, right?
Right.
Because again, here we are trying now to give rights to people who have been freed, who needed to be able to have those rights. I mean, it was a turbulent time. And some people led well through it, and some people were horrible through it.
Well, in our day when we were children, Florida was a part of the South.
Sure.
Now we're kind of lower New York. Most of the New Yorkers and the New England people have invaded our state tried to take it away from us.
Invaded our state. Okay.
Yeah, they have invaded our state and all. But, as a child, I remember the colored water fountains, and the white water fountains.
That's in our lifetime, sure.
I remember, the restaurants, white only, and, I tell my girls about that, and they can't, what?
Yeah, it's such a foreign concept to think of now, but hard fought times. I mean, and again, a flashpoint for change and good change. It came, America at so many crossroads has been able to write its course. And I think, again, we come back to history, right? We have a lot of things that happen today that people, say there's a civil rights issue. And they're really not like that.
Not like that.
And people that talk that way, they don't understand history. Again, we've got to get better at that and go from there. But also, we're out of time. Yeah. I mean, we have just,
where'd it go?
I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, just at the end here, I think there were two things that really helped us through that time of division during the civil rights. Two things. I think music was a big part of it, and I think sports was a big part of it.
Sure.
And those two things are still today helping us to have a little bit of resolve during those difficult times. Yeah. Okay, you said it's time to go.
It's time to go. God has blessed us with the opportunity to live in a great nation here in America. We're celebrating America 250, but we're out of time, so we can't celebrate anymore today.
Yep, can't.
So what do you need to do?
Well, I think we need to get out of here and remind people to have a great week and don't tap out.